up, yo? It's Marc with the Fantasy Knockout Fantasy Football Show. Today is Saturday, September 24th. You can follow the show on social media at Fantasy Knockout. Make sure to subscribe, whatever platform you're watching or listening on. Let's get that goal of 100 subscribers on YouTube. I'm excited for today's show. It's the Week 3 injury report. Who's hurt, who's not? Let's talk some news.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Here is the news.
News with views. Wide receiver Sammy Watkins of the Green Bay Packers. He's been placed on the injured reserve with a hamstring injury. He's going to miss at least the next 4 games, probably more. So Lazard is the number 1 receiver there in Green Bay. Offensive tackle Taylor Lewan out of Tennessee. He's going to miss the rest of the season with a knee injury. So this is going to hurt Derrick Henry's value a little bit. And then wide receiver Cole Beasley out of Tampa Bay. He was signed to the practice squad earlier in the week. He's now been elevated to the active roster with Evans suspended, Godwin's out with his hamstring, Julio's knee, Gage's hammy, Perryman's knee. They're all questionable. It makes sense they need a pulse at wide receiver this week. Main event, who's in, who's out, the injury report. Oh, I almost forgot. A quick public service announcement for you guys. If I happen to get some news that changes after my initial recording of this show, check the comments of the YouTube channel. I'll update there. So like last week, Julio was a scratch and I said to start him. I put it in the comments, let you guys know ahead of time. As soon as I found that information out, check those comments on the YouTube channel and you can see if there's any adjustments there. So running backs, Leonard Fournette of the Tampa Bay Bucks. He's got the hamstring injury. He's going to be in. Start him with confidence. J.K. Dobbins out of Baltimore, the knee injury. He's going to be in. I'm still sitting him. I want to see him play first. Alvin Kamara out of New Orleans, the ribs injury. He's going to be in. Start him. DeAndre Swift out of Detroit, the ankle injury. He's in. Start him. James Conner out of Arizona with the ankle. He's in. Start him. Christian McCaffrey out of Carolina with the ankle injury. He's good to go. Start him. He's in. Some tight ends. George Kittle out of San Francisco. He's got the groin injury. He's going to be in. He's going to start, make his debut this year. Dawson Knox out of Buffalo with the foot injury. He's in. Start Dawson. TJ Hawkinson out of Detroit. He's got the hip issue. He's going to be in. Go ahead and start him as well. Dalton Schultz out of Dallas with the knee injury. He's out. He might be questionable. He actually might be playing. I think he's going to be out. I would sit him. I would not start him at all. Some quarterbacks. Jameis Winston out of New Orleans. He's got the back and ankle injury. He's going to be in. He's going to play through it. I would still sit him. I'm not trusting Winston right now. Lamar Jackson out of Baltimore with the elbow injury. He's in. He's a start. Justin Herbert from the Los Angeles Chargers with the ribs. He's a game time decision. I would sit him. Even if he plays, I'd sit him. I'd find another option this week. That throw at the end of the game did not look like he could do it. I know they're going to shoot him up with paint stuff and wear a brace and all that stuff. I don't trust Herbert this week. Some receivers. Mike Evans out of Tampa Bay, suspended. He's out. Get him out of your lineups. Julio Jones with the knee injury. He's a game time decision. If you have to, you can flex him just because they need somebody there in Tampa. Chris Godwin out of Tampa Bay, hamstring. He's out. Russell Gage, Tampa Bay, hamstring. I think he's out. I don't think he's playing, so sit those guys. Allen Lazard out of Green Bay with the ankle injury. He's in. Go ahead and start him. Jacoby Myers from the Patriots. He's got the knee issue. I think he's going to be in. You can flex him. Hunter Renfrow out of the Las Vegas Raiders. Still dealing with that concussion. He's out. Get him out of your lineups. Keenan Allen with the Chargers. He's got the hamstring injury. I think he's going to be in, and you can flex him. I'm not starting him with confidence. My expectations are low. They're probably going to ease him back in. So flex Allen if you have to. If you have another option that's better, start them instead. Gabe Davis out of Buffalo with an ankle injury. He's in. Start Davis. Jerry Jeudy out of Denver with his shoulder injury. He's going to be out. He might be a game time decision to play. I'd sit him regardless. I'm not trusting with his shoulder and having to reach and stuff. Don't like that. Michael Pittman out of Indianapolis with the quad. He's in. He's good to go. Start him. Michael Gallup out of Dallas. He's coming back with his knee injury. This is probably going to be the first game he plays, so he will be in. I'd probably wait. I don't know if I would start him yet. I think there's better options out there still. McCole Hardman out of Kansas City with the heel. He's going to be in. I would sit him. Sammy Watkins out of Green Bay. We already talked about it in the news with the hamstring injury. He's out. He's on the IR. Rondale Moore out of Arizona with the hamstring injury. He's out. Sit him. Kadarius Toney out of the Giants. Hamstring injury. He's out. Sit him. Then I got some stashes for next week, guys that you can pick up on your bench that might be available. If you have the roster spot, pick them up. If you got a second defense or a second tight end, get rid of them. Pick up one of these guys, see if they can turn into fantasy gold next week. Quarterbacks, Jared Goff out of Detroit, 42% owned. Jimmy Garoppolo, San Francisco, 34% owned. Some tight ends, Logan Thomas, he's 34% owned. He's out of Washington. Tight end Evan Ingram out of Jacksonville, he's 25% owned. Some wide receivers, Michael Gallup, 35% owned out of Dallas. Sterling Shepard with the Giants, he's 20% owned. Some running backs, Rashad White out of Tampa Bay. If anything happens to Leonard Fournette, he is 30% owned. He could be the stud there. Ken Walker out of Seattle, he's about 54% owned. And Raheem Mostert out of Miami, he's about 56% owned. See if those guys are available on your waiver wires. Pick them up. Some defenses for next week that are possible. Philadelphia Eagles are 53% owned, and the Kansas City Chiefs are 44% owned. Well, that's going to wrap it up for today. The next show is Week 4 Must-Add Players, the Waiver Wire Edition. Thank you for listening to the show. Make sure to subscribe on whatever platform you're watching or listening on. Leave a rating and review. Really helps me out. All right. Till next time. See ya.